Well, looks like Thomas Partey is spoiled for choice. Looks like there's a transfer battle that is developing in between teams that will want to take him, and I dedicate this video to one of those Arsenal fans that came onto this channel and asked me what's the latest about Thomas Partey. I'm just trying to get the name of the person in here for you from the comment sections about him asking me about Thomas Partey, and I decided let me drop this video because I thought that there are very many stories concerning Julian Timber. There was this other guy known as Lavia, there is Declan Rice, there is Moise Caicedo, and Kai Havertz. So I thought that I was so much packed up, and I said, why not really drop into this video? Because a fan went in through and obviously asked me something about Thomas Partey, and I said I should throw it in as up. But as I really throw into the story of Thomas Partey, we are also going to discuss about Matthias. Is he Matthias? Or he's not Matthias. He's what is his name? Marcus Thuram, right? Marcus Thuram has found a new club where he's going to play for the next 4-5 years. Remember, he was a free agent coming in from Bayern Leverkusen, and now he is really one of those that is going to be representing a certain club in Europe. He's going to be playing in the Champions League. And lastly, we are discussing what the agent of Sandro Tonali has gone ahead and really said after a deal of Tonali to Newcastle was sounded as a here we go by Fabrizio Romano. So let's see close to 200 likes, smashing this video. Don't forget to subscribe. How do you subscribe? Lower right bottom corner is the place to be. A marathon it is, and I think you guys are really enjoying it as it stands. Now, exclusive was first broken by Fabrizio Romano that Juventus have also asked info for Thomas Partey after Saudi Arabia clubs also approaching the midfielder. Saudi clubs are prepared to bid 40 million euros in 3 installments, but nothing agreed yet on player side. Juventus are informed, waiting for Rabiot's future too. Now, for Thomas Partey, it's really something tricky that you cannot move without really discussing a lot about it, because Fabrizio Romano, after giving us this update, he has gone ahead and obviously dropped another one that understand Thomas Partey considers Juventus as priority. He hopes to stay in Europe. Talks will follow as there is still no official proposal. Arsenal are prepared to let Thomas Partey go, but important proposal will be needed after Saudi approaches. Then there came Di Marzio. He's one of the football experts that are really global. He confirmed to us that Partey ready to go ahead to Juventus. Move club will negotiate an 18 to 20 million euro deal for the player. Now, why Juventus coming in for Thomas Partey? One of their central midfielders, that is Adrien Rabiot, is really leaving on a free, and Manchester United is way much better positioned to sign the player. After that, we've gotten in another problem they're really having in their midfield of Weston McKennie is leaving. Then Paul Pogba, he has really kicked a ball for Juventus this season because of the injury he has been having ever since he left Man United. No sooner had he returned than he found himself going back. So it shows you that Paul Pogba Lebile is one of those. That is the reason as to why Juventus are really tracking in a player known as Thomas Partey. But for Thomas Partey, he's really willing to go ahead and rejoin Juventus. That's it. And the Saudi clubs are also pushing. So when you look at Juventus, I think they are hoeing in to getting in Thomas Partey, one, and to get in Serge Milokovic-Savic, because it said that Juventus have gone ahead to agree personal terms with Serge Milokovic-Savic. So you can anticipate how that midfield will be looking. Thomas Partey, Serge Milokovic-Savic, and maybe Paul Pogba. It will be a newly re-energized midfield in Italy. So for Thomas Partey, Arsenal are willing to let him go provided a very huge proposal comes in through. But for the Saudi clubs, they've come in with a lot of power, and they've said, we are giving you 40 million euros. How much is Juventus willing to put on the table to take a player known as Thomas Partey? Thomas Partey is concerned. As we're talking about Juventus, there came another club coming in from Saudi Arabia, and that is Al Nassr, throwing into a very, very huge narrative, and obviously they want to really get Thomas Partey onto them. The story has been brought to us by James Beng. He's a soccer correspondent for CBS. That is it. So he has told us that Al Nassr are prepared to offer 30 million euros transfer fee in addition to 10 million euros net salary for Partey. Ultimately, the swing factor will be the player himself. And so far, the 30-year-old has offered no indication as to whether he would be prepared to make the move. So, Thomas Partey has not given green light to any team, but Fabrizio is telling us that he is really leaning so much to joining the Juventus side in Italy. And I really understand what it means for Thomas Partey. He believes that at his age of 30, he still has some 3 seasons left in Europe before he crosses to the Al Nassr side. And so much question about this James Beng story about offering Thomas Partey a salary of 10 million euros. Yet players in his caliber have gotten ahead to get a deal of like 50 million euros per year. And if Juventus is offering between 18 to 20 million euros for the player Thomas Partey, now, how come 10 million euros for the player of Thomas Partey, how come even the other side is offering 10? The attraction that takes players to Saudi Arabia is simple. It's all about the money they're offering them. Ronaldo is earning 350 million euros per year. Karim Benzema is earning close to 200 million euros per year. Ruben Neves is at 50 million euros per year. So that's the match that they're giving the players, and that's what is attracting them. So 10 million euros cannot let Partey leave the European scene and obviously go to Saudi Arabia, especially if at all you were to look at the amount of money he earns, because Thomas Partey earns £200,000 per week at Arsenal. If you multiply it by 52, obviously those are 10 million euros per year. So you cannot tell me that you are Saudi Arabia, Al Nassr, and you're getting in that little amount of money to attract Thomas Partey to come to your side. If at all you want to attract Partey, you need to really multiply that salary by 5 to see to it that he earns close to £1 million per week. Then he will come in through and obviously play ball for you in Saudi Arabia, because money had always been a factor for Africans and players coming in from South America. But you've seen that even players in Europe are being swarmed that side because of money. Look at Ruben Neves, 50 million euros. Look at Bernardo Silva. He's being wanted down there, and if at all he accepts the deal, he might be seeing himself earning 120 million euros per year. So even the Europeans are now stunned by how their players are being moved on by the money coming in from Saudi Arabia. And why is it like this? A player's career only happens once, so you have to get in as much as you can when you still can, and as far as your stats can really take you. For Thomas Partey, let's wait and see how that's going to pan out, but he might end himself at Juventus, but looks like there is a bidding war that's going to hate to be created by Al Nassr and Juventus, and they're really willing to go ahead and obviously fight for the player Thomas Partey, but it'll depend on who Thomas Partey is going to hate to give green light. And you might find out that his agent might be putting out this information so to it that Al Nassr ups the amount of money and the agent fees they're really offering for the contract so to it that Thomas Partey goes that side. But it won't look so ugly for Thomas Partey if at all he goes that side, if at all they're getting the money once, because if Ruben Neves has gone that side, if Bernardo goes that side, Karim Benzema, N'Golo Kante, and Thomas Partey being 30 years of age, what's better else to get money at that age? I think nothing beats that. So as it stands, it's all about Thomas Partey, spoiled for choice, and obviously the transfer battle starts, and we'll wait and see who is winning it. Is it Juventus or Al Nassr? In the next coming days, we'll be knowing who the winner is. Now, let's talk about Marcus Thuram, one of the players that have been linked to Arsenal for a very, very long time, and he was a free agent. Remember those days when doing stories of Evans Indika, Marcus Thuram, and very many others as a free agent. And finally, he has found himself a club that is going to take him. He has gone ahead to snub a trio of clubs, and finally he has decided to spend his entire career for the next years at Inter Milan in Italy. We've been told by Fabrizio Romano confirmation, here we go, Inter have reached full verbal agreement to sign Marcus Thuram. Here we go. Deal in place for salary around 6/6.5 million euros net per season plus signing fee. Inter are working to get contracts now prepared and then signed during the weekend. PSG, RB Leipzig, and AC Milan rejected. So he has gone ahead to make his decision on where he's going to be playing his football next, and that is Inter Milan. He's a very good player, you know. He can play as a left forward, he can lead the line, and one thing I like about him is his height. You know, he's a very good towering of a lad, and he is really great when it comes to aerial balls. And if at all you watch the World Cup, you saw him come on through on several occasions for the French national team. His build-up is really great, especially the physical build-up, and that's why most people thought that he was tailor-made for the Premier League, as it was easy for him to come in through and obviously beat the physicality there. 25 years of age, 1.9 meters tall, and when you look at his stats this season, he has gone ahead to really play for Borussia Mönchengladbach. He has gone ahead to play 30 games, 13 goals with 6 assists, meaning that he has a very beautiful eye for goal. And in the Bundesliga, in the DFB Pokal Cup, 2 games, 3 goals and 1 assist. Those are 16 goals and 7 assists a season. Then in the Champions League, he played 8 games and scored 2 goals, meaning that he scored 18 goals in his entire season and put up 7 assists. So if at all someone is having 25 goal involvements, then you don't take him for granted. He's an absolute bargain. They've gotten him on a free, so that means agent fee is going to be huge, sign-on fee is going to be huge, and he's going to be having a very huge salary coming in from Inter Milan. Inter Milan are preparing for the departure of Lautaro Martinez, because it is said that if at all he gets any offer from the English Premier League that is really so much great, it looks like he's willing to call it quits for the other clubs from the European market, especially Manchester United and Arsenal are those teams linked to him. So that is it for Marcus Thuram. And lastly, let's talk about the agent of Tonali giving us a reason as to why Tonali didn't resist it or didn't hesitate to make a decision to join Newcastle. The agent said he's known as Giuseppe Riso. It is difficult to reject a huge bid for the club and the player. We agreed all terms for Tonali with Newcastle, and the two clubs are finalizing the deal. The contract with Newcastle will be valid for the next 6 years, and Newcastle are elevating to that level of signing in players that even other teams could sign and really fit. Trust me, Tonali fits in every team that plays in the top 6 positions of the league, of the Premier League, and he brings a lot of versatility to Newcastle. He creates a lot of noise when it comes to him playing alongside Bruno Guimaraes. That midfield is going to be so much tight because both players can shield the back four, and when it comes going forward, they offer a lot when it comes to them playing the box-to-box role. So congratulations to Newcastle for really winning this race of Tonali, and they finally have the player. They first went in for Nico Barella, and Barella told them, I'm not leaving this side. He shunned them. Then they went in for Sandro Tonali, and this is the only chance that Newcastle are really having to strengthen their squad, because they are in the Champions League and there is urge for players to go ahead and really join them. The appetite to join Newcastle for players is really huge. They can turn even down Liverpool to go that side because they know there is Champions League football, and Newcastle has shown us that if at all they really add more quality to their squad, they're going to come out and really compete favorably. So guys, your thoughts on to Thomas Partey, spoiled for choice as the Thomas Partey transfer battle heats up, and what do you make about Thomas Thuram or Marcus Thuram transfer to Inter Milan and why Tonali joined Newcastle. I sign out for now. See you later. Good morning. I cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. May the living true God protect you abundantly. Rokani David is my name. I sign out for now. See you later, and I cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. Ciao, ciao.